Got it.
Hello and welcome to the Life Laundry Podcast. I am Gemma.
I am Chippy. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Ta-ra.
I vote. I feel I need to do a bit of a rant.
Oh, okay.
Several things.
Buckle up, I've got my coffee.
I'm going to take over for the first 5. I just need to get it off the chest. Last week, and we were like, what's your positive? And I was like, I feel like something great's going to happen. Well, what happened was I was struck down by the most god-awful thing. I don't know what it was, but I've never felt so ill in my life. I have never felt so ill. It wasn't COVID. So, I tested 4 times.
But you used the B word. Now, I feel like I need to clarify for all the listeners, including you, Gemma. B word for emetophobes means puking.
Oh yeah, it wasn't that.
So I was like, why is she so surprised? Children, they just bring them to you. But then I saw you going, it wasn't COVID. So it was what, like 24 hours?
So what happened was, right, there's a backstory here. Mike had been away about 2.5 weeks ago. He'd been away with work to Italy, right? Which is just, I think, selfish, quite frankly. I mean, what would these people think they get off on thinking that they go away and leave me on my own? There you go. Anyway, that's a whole different situation. And he came back with COVID, right?
Oh.
So he came back from Italy, but this is 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it. He didn't catch it from me when I had it at Christmas. So I'm like, oh, that's because I had it at Christmas. I've got an amazing immune system. Like that. Yeah. So I was like proper gloaty. He was so ill.
Oh, really?
Mike never gets sick, really. He's a bit like, he carries on.
Because he had COVID before.
He had round 1 back in.
Yeah, but has he had it in between?
No. And he was like, oh, I feel a bit like I've got a cold. And I was like, well, probably COVID. You've been on a plane. No, it's just a cold. Probably COVID. We should do a test. Took a test. Positive. It's like, I feel all right. I'm going to be fine. I was like, good, great. Here's the laundry. Carry on. We're carrying on. Like that. And then like the next day, he was just like, bam. Couldn't get off the sofa. Anyway, it passed through. There's like a week in between. And then on Saturday, about 11, I was fine. And then at 11 o'clock, I went for a bath and I put a face mask on and a hair mask on. And I got out the bath and I can't even describe it. I felt so ill. I was actually scared. I felt really spaced out. I was really couldn't really stand up properly. And then I was so cold. I was in bed with 3 blankets, socks, gloves, and a hot water bottle. It was like 25 degrees outside, and I felt cold. And then I was hot, cold for 24 hours. And then at 11 o'clock on the Sunday, it was like someone had turned off a switch, and I was right as rain. It was
weird.
So weird. But I did feel really nauseous, but I was never sick. But I had no other symptoms, just temperature and just feeling like utter shite.
Did you have a temperature?
Well, no, I didn't actually take my temperature, but I just felt really.
When I had COVID recently, I had that hot cold thing, but I had no temperature.
Yeah.
It was really weird because you know how everyone goes, oh, symptoms of COVID are high, very high temperature, blah, blah, blah. So the first thing I was doing when I started to feel a bit rough was like, I'll take my temperature. And if my temperature's raised, I'll take a COVID test. My temperature was always fine. And then because we had people coming to stay for the weekend, I was like, oh, it's better to take a COVID test. And that's how I found out I had COVID. But I think it's so weird when your body's like, I don't know. The virus, I had a virus I think after COVID, that wasn't COVID, but I felt really shit. And I think perhaps we've just forgotten what it's like to have a standard virus.
I think so. And I had body aches as well, which actually made me cry. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I couldn't eat for dinner that night. I had 3 spoonfuls of peas. Mike had made toad in the hole, and I came downstairs and I was sat at the table, and the kids just took one look at me, and Tom went, "Well, you don't look well at all." And I just,
oh,
it's crazy. But yeah, and it's just really good. But lots of people messaged me to say that they'd had something really similar that had only lasted 24 hours and had also all tested all negative. So there's obviously other viruses are available.
Yeah, that was the thing, is that I was really panicked that it was COVID, because I'd had it so recently, and Ned had it, and I just felt like I'd been trapped in the house, and we'd been going through a cycle of COVID.
Yeah.
And then there was the sick bug thing, so then I kept my kids off, and then one of my kids did get sick, and then it was just like, and I thought, I can't have another one. I can't. What is it? Viruses all the time before COVID, and we weren't freaking out about it.
Yeah. So that started off my week, and then this week I'm kind of half got the week off, but when you're self-employed you never have time off, do you? So I kind of half got the week off. And we said, well, let's go to Chessington. Right, I've actually just finished filming story time at Chessington for my YouTube channel, because it was just an epic flop, epic fail. I won't go into the details. I'll just say it took 1 hour 50 minutes to get to the front of one particular queue, at which point we got on the ride fucking broke down. We had to get off the ride.
I feel like Chessington's not the one for you, because you've had trouble there before.
Not the one. I won't be going again. And then to top off my rant, do you remember Chris from the garage? Remember Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, poor Chris. Well, he got it in the neck again this morning.
What's happened to your car?
Well, we brought the car in again for the similar thing, right? It was fine. It was planned, but. And it was like, don't worry, it won't cost more than £200. I was like, okay, great. Okay, Chris, don't forget, we need a really nice car. And we need a hire car, make it a good one. Fuck, Chris done me a proper solid. Yeah. The car that we've got is so good. Like, we're just driving around places. Anyway, it's nice. It's a nice car. Anyway, Chris phones. Mike doesn't phone me. You see, he's trying to skirt the issue. And so turns out it's going to be £500. And I heard Matt go, double. I was like a meerkat. I bet that's Chris. And then Mike went, £1,800. £1,800. Yeah. And I don't know about cars, but he can kind of temporarily fix it for £500. But eventually we'll have to pay £1,800. Now, bearing in mind, this is like a proper dealership. This isn't just some dodgy garage. So Mike's
that car's never.
No, well, exactly right. So I didn't want to undermine Mike by taking over the conversation. I didn't want to do that thing where I was like, give me the phone. But I kind of went, give me the phone. I said, I booked it in. Give me the phone.
I didn't want to, but I did it.
I did. And I said, Chris, it's Gemma here. And he went, hi. I said, just so you know, you can have your car back. I don't want it. He went, what do you mean? I said, it's going to be nothing but trouble, Chris. I said, it's broken down twice. I said, and now I have to pay £1,800 for a legacy problem. You can't tell me that you didn't know this car had that problem when it was sat on your forecourt.
How did that?
I said, look, I tell you what, I'll just bring it back. You give me my money back. Give me what I paid for it. I said, we'll just forget it all happened, shall we? Quite. Mike's like, oh my God.
Well, it's true.
Yeah, Chris was like, phone you back in a bit. And I was like, okay. And anyway, Mike just texted me about 5 minutes ago saying, fixing it for free. I was like, yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they're. I'll tell you what, Chris, I'll keep this car that you've lent me.
I actually almost said to Mike, I'm keeping this one hostage, not getting it back.
You see, sometimes having a shitty old Audi isn't so bad.
No,
you know that beast.
But the story is, though, there is a story here, because we have always leased cars. What we like to do, we like to lease cars.
I went away for a weekend. You might remember, everybody. I went away for a weekend with my old team. We went to that place near Birmingham that I can't pronounce.
Ashby de la Zouche.
Oh no, I can pronounce Ashby de la Zouche.
Oh, come on. I remember you said it, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, come on, it's near Birmingham. Hold on, I'm getting a map out. But we went there, and I was talking to my friend Sally, and she was like, she was driving me in her car, so me and Karen had to squidge in the back with her car seats, which was a whole other story. But she was like, I was like, oh, this is a nice car, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it back and get another one. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she was like, well, I've had it for 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, and so now I give it back and get another one. I was like, what? She's like, that's how I've always had my cars, that's how my dad told me to get my cars.
100%.
And I was like, oh, I buy a car that I like, that's got the lowest mileage for the car that I like in my budget, and then I drive that until it gets written off. As in, my first car had done something like 285,000 miles, and they were like, literally anything we do is going to cost more than the car's worth.
Yeah, it's a write-off. So
I'll drive it until that's it, and then I go out and get myself another car, and I can never afford a good one. And I had no idea that you could just, well, I seen it on adverts on the telly in the 80s, because obviously now we don't even see adverts where people are like, where they say you can buy it on whatever it is.
It's not a hire purchase, it's completely different.
But it's not, it says something like on finance or not on finance, but yeah, like
so leasing isn't finance. So leasing is where you pay a certain amount a month and you will essentially rent a car, and it's like a mobile phone. So you will sign yourself up for a 2-year deal and you agree to pay so much a month for that car. You get
Solihull,
yeah. And then at the end of the fixed term, you give the car back. And then you enter into another contract and you like borrow a car. So, and they take care of things for you, like the servicing, and if it goes wrong, they just come and pick it up and fix it. But our old car was a lease car. We gave it back because the term was up. But because of like COVID and like all the there was no chips or something, all cars were there was no cars available.
My friend got himself a new VW Golf as a divorce present, like brand new. He was like, I've never had a brand new car, and it took extra 8 months because of that chip.
Yeah, so there was no cars available for us to lease, so we had to then go and buy a second-hand car. Never again. I'm selling it in the next. Once he's fixed it, I'm selling it and I'm getting a lease because you can get them now.
See, I'm going to tell Chris. I'm telling Chris enough, because we need a second car, and I want a Land Rover, but then petrol's now so expensive that I think I should just get an electric car.
Lease. You can get for a couple
maybe I should be looking at leasing it.
You can get for a couple of £100 a month. It depends. It starts from about £200 a month. You can get an electric lease vehicle.
Will it fit all my children in it?
I was looking at them before. You can get a Range Rover, but I want an electric one next. I'm looking at electric. Yeah, Range Rover's like 400 quid a month.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. Well, because I
over like 4 years, but you have to commit to paying it for 4 years. You can't just give it back after 6 months and say, actually, you know what, I don't want it anymore.
No, but that's fine. I just think I need to have a look into that, because I just would buy, obviously I've been looking at secondhand Land Rovers, which are fucking expensive. But we have...
Well, I've got one you can have cheap.
Another...
Just got a little bit of a raffle.
You really sold it to me. But we also have a problem in that I get car sick in automatics.
Oh, I love automatics.
All electrics are automatics, obviously. So that's why we've been avoiding electric cars, because I'll have to drive all the time, which I do anyway, but you know, it's nice to have the option. So that's the problem. I mean, I feel like we're really delivering on the podcast today.
I feel like we should be like on Top Gear or something.
Can I be the Stig?
Yeah, I'll be James May.
Oh, I don't think you're boring enough to be James May. You need to try.
Yeah, okay. I don't like the other one.
Richard Hammond. I don't like any of them, to be honest.
I'd be a bit annoying. Although it was really random, wasn't it, when Joey from Friends started presenting it?
I love him.
Do you?
Not presenting it anymore.
Isn't he?
I don't know. His name is Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah. So I've had a very good week.
The thing is, everything that's happened though does not mean that something fantastic is not about to happen.
No, this is true. Well, I just feel a little bit shortchanged by the universe, I have to say.
I have been quite good about, when I said I was going to focus on stuff that's happening with the kids now and not spread myself too thin.
Yeah,
I feel like I've been doing quite well at that, except for Jack we did that thing. We went to this really good outside play area near me, and I took my sister, and my kids did that thing that I was talking about the other day. The scorpion babies, we arrive, they scatter off me. I can't find any. And I was looking for Jim and came back, and Jack was not where I'd left him. And then I can't, and I'm like, you know, they're all fine. The youngest is 5. It's the play area, they know it'll be fine. And then eventually I was like, I'm gonna have a look for Jack. Then I just see this child looking like Rocky post-fight coming towards me, wailing, with loads of mums like looking like meerkats.
Oh God.
He'd fallen off the play thing that my sister and I had been sitting in front of, but I think in his daze had just walked off past us. Mashed his lip open, so he looks like he's done. And literally he's the best child, because I went to get some ice for his face, so I was like, okay, you sit on auntie's knee, swill some water in your mouth and spit it out, sit on auntie's knee, and you look like Rocky. And he's like, who's Rocky? And I was like, you look like, I'm going to find you a picture of Rocky. I've got this picture of my sister holding ice onto his lip, gazing off into space, and he's just staring at my phone and looking at one picture of Rocky obsessively for about 10 minutes. So now I have to play Eye of the Tiger a lot. Yeah, I just felt like being like, well, I didn't see him fall off because I'd lost my other kids. I was looking for them, judgmental mums. But anyway, like this morning we went to the local lavender fields. They ate a biscuit amongst the lavender. That was nice. And now I'm here doing this and they're watching telly. It's all about balance, Gem.
The most expensive fast track ticket, £95 each. And that will get you 5 rides. That's it. So 5 fast tracks. So for all 5 of us to have gone, to get in was just under 200 quid for all 5 of us. If we then bought the most expensive fast track pass each, it'd have been coming in at almost 700 quid for a day out at Chessington.
It's ridiculous. And that's the thing, like my kids would love Legoland because they love Lego. They'd love Harry Potter worlds because they love Harry Potter, and they would love Chessington, Thorpe Park, all of that. They would love it, but they were inordinately happy in the lavender field today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which costs £2 per child and £4 for an adult to get into. And so I'm a bit like, as much as I'd like to do the Chessington stuff, I just don't have it in me. And I hate...
No, and the thing is, and hold on to that for as long as you can, but because a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old aren't happy in a lavender field.
No.
So when you're thinking of what can we do as a family that absolutely everybody enjoys, there's not a lot of options.
Well, we've got a local rowing lake, so I'm just going to be like, take a boat out, loves, row yourselves around, act like that's your Chessington, because I hate rides. I'm not going on rides.
Oh, I love rides. You know what the best ride, the most underrated ride is? The pirate ship. You know, the one that goes...
Oh God, I mean, why? My friend, I'd just had a miscarriage, and my friend invited me, and my friend had tickets to House Festival, which is like the, you know, the Shoreditch House and Chiswick House, all that swanky. They've got one in the Babington House, that chain. They put on a festival in West London, in Richmond, and my friend got tickets and we went. And because I'd been pregnant for a bit and then obviously miscarriage wasn't great, I was like, I'm letting my hair down, I'm having a good time. Left Joe at home with the baby. We had cocktails, we drank champagne, it was great. And she made me go on one of those ones with the chairs on the chains that swing round.
Oh yeah. Oh God, no.
And I was just like, I went on being a bit like, maybe I've just been missing out all these years, thinking that I don't like them, and maybe it's something I've grown into, like olives. No, it was not for me. No,
Olives.
it was all olives. Yeah, I forced myself to like olives.
Me too. They are. It's a true sign of being a grown-up when you're like, I just want olives.
I don't want black olives. I'm still not grown up enough for black olives, but green olives. My parents we used to go to Cornwall every year. Is that Margaret?
Yeah. And I actually saw the door move that's on a latch. I just saw it move. Now, she didn't make an appearance in the last episode because we filmed earlier, didn't we?
And again, I carried on talking because I was like, oh, it's the kids. But then I was like, oh no, it's empty house day, right?
No, Johnny's gone to his dad's. So Johnny's at his dad's. Mike's here because he's on annual leave. Ben's downstairs. And Tom is in his room editing videos for me.
Good old Thomas. I can't remember what I was saying.
Sorry, Margaret.
But yeah, I did that.
Yeah, Olives.
It's a kid. Oh no, it's not. It's Margaret.
Olives. You were maturing into olives.
Oh yeah. So my parents we used to go to school every year, and now in hindsight, I realise what my parents were doing. It was like when Rick Stein started, and he just had the seafood restaurant in Padstow, which is where we always went. We'd go out for dinner there once, and now I'm like, that was my parents' holiday. I was there one night of like not having to obey a whimsical 7-year-old. So I feel bad now because I'm such a fussy eater that seafood restaurants was a no for me. Well, I know I ate prawns at the time, so I probably just ate loads of prawns. But I remember we'd sit in the like nice conservatory bit while we waited for our table. They would have a drink and they'd have a bowl of olives. And I remember every time I'd force myself to have a green olive. And then one year I had one and was like, oh, I like it.
I like it now. I've retrained my taste buds.
Yeah. I wish that would happen with gin, because
I don't like gin.
I don't like gin and I don't like tonic.
How have we possibly...
And what I really want is...
Oh, no. Sorry.
What I really want is to be able to go to a bar and say, I'll have a gin tonic or a vodka tonic. But instead I'm like, I'll have a water. I'll have a vodka lime and soda, like a teenager.
For some reason, it's telling me we've only got 9 minutes left.
Yeah, we can log out and log back in again.
Cool.
I should call because I have pro Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
They've put a timer on everything now.
What?
They've put a timer on it now. They used to not have a timer on one-on-one chats.
Well, they better hope there's no one called Chris in the Zoom customer service department, because they're
getting a call. They are getting a call. I think Chris didn't get it out off as badly as the guy at the NHS when you moved.
Oh, that was something else.
And that's when you got told off.
Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that.
I'm right. I'm the customer. It's actually NHS, so it's free. Shut up.
Don't split hairs with me.
Do you know who I am? I'm trying to be organised.
I've never said it, but I can't die without saying to someone, do you know who I am? I have to say it.
Joe and I are rewatching The West Wing at the moment. And there's one episode where they get lost on the campaign trail. 3 of them get left off the motorcade and they have to make their way back to Washington from Indiana. And one of them loses a bet. So he has to say, I work at the White House, after every time he introduces himself to anyone. So they go to like bars, restaurants, they hitch lifts from people, and he has the whole time being like, the guy will be like, hi, I'm so-and-so, and he'll be like, hi, I'm Toby. I work at the White House. And it's so hilarious. And at the end, this guy that's giving them a lift for hours goes, I just wanted to say a couple of things to you guys. I'm still not going to vote for you, but and Toby says, or he says, you can call me so-and-so, and he says, you can call me Toby. I work at the White House. And he says, I wanted to tell you that you should stop saying that and let people maybe work it out for themselves. I was like, Gemma. I want Gemma to start saying, I'm the organised mum. Should let them find out for themselves, Gemma. But I think you should. I think you need to spend a week every time you speak to someone. Say, you might know me as the organised mum.
Oh no, it makes my inside shrivel up thinking about doing that. It's just,
think of a bet that we can run that I will definitely win.
Yeah, but you won't be around to police it though, so you wouldn't know.
I have Derek's number in my phone. We all know.
I'm Gemma Bray. You might know me better from whatever.
You might know me as the organised mum. I'm an influencer. Oh, you love that. You'd love that.
Hello, I'm an influencer.
Yeah. When people ask you what your job is, oh my God, my friend came over the other day and she was like, so what are you doing? Are you still doing makeup? What are you doing? And my mum was sitting in between me and her. And I reversed back to being a teen because I was like, well, obviously it's summer holidays, so I'm not really doing much, but blah, blah, blah. I was talking about you. And my mum was going, and a coach. You're a coach. You did coaching. You've just qualified. And so I was like, right, I'm not fucking saying it now. I'm just not going to say it. You qualified as a coach. And then afterwards she was like, I don't know why you have to be so weird when people ask you what you do and you didn't say coaching. I was like, I'm 38 and I had my mother sticking her face in between us going, you did coaching? Still not gonna, if you do it, mother, I'm still not gonna play ball.
I've got to take my dad swimming tonight.
How's that gonna work?
Well,
I'm assuming he knows how to swim.
yeah,
You're not
well,
taking...
okay. Because of the weird virusy thing, I haven't been to spin since what day is it? Thursday. Last Thursday.
What?
A week.
Do you think they've held a secret memorial service for you at the gym because they've just assumed you died?
I'm worried though. I'm worried. I know what will have happened on my normal Monday and Tuesday classes. Someone will have gone, where's that one there that can't not win?
When you get there, they'll have a black cloth draped over your usual bike. And you'll arrive like, oh, she's back. We thought you died.
Back. I'm back, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go. And I'm going to burst through the doors. Anyway, so I'm going to spin tonight. I'm booked in at spin at 6. And my dad has worked out that he doesn't have to pay the full membership price of the gym because he can come in as my guest. So he's like, Gemma, you're going to the gym tonight? Yes, Dad. Can I come in as your guest? I'll pay. I just want to go for a swim. Okay. Okay. Bye, Dad. Bye.
I just want to swim.
But Tom went, because Tom is a member of the gym, and Tom went with him last week, and Tom said he doesn't swim, Mum, he just walks up and down.
Yeah, once you get to a certain age as a man, I think women as well, but I've definitely seen it where I used to take my kids for intense swimming courses. Didn't work, they still can't swim. And I was mesmerized. Like, my kids got out every day and they'd be like, what, did you see me doing the, nothing. I saw you doing nothing, children. But anyway, and I wouldn't, because I would be looking and there would just be these men of a certain age, quite often wearing Speedos, which is their choice, obviously, but terrifying for me.
I don't know
walking
what I'd wear.
down,
I hope
walking down and chatting.
Mm.
They just walking, and I'm sure there's a lot to be said for it. Probably the the whatever it's called, the water, the
therapeutic.
Well, it is therapeutic, but pushing against the water is probably good.
Yeah.
And the resistance of the water probably is good, and it's exercise. But I did feel like going to the end and just shouting at them, you're walking, you're just walking, you're walking in the, like, this isn't swimming. But but it's true, isn't it? Like, why are you walking in the pool? When did this happen? What age is it where you get in the pool and you're like, I'm not swimming now, have a nice walk up and down, chat with my friend?
I don't know, but I think that's the moment when I am now in the evening tide of my life.
Oh God.
So what has been going on in your world other than lavender field sitting and biscuit eating?
Well, I feel like we've had a very intense relationship this week without you knowing about it. Because does your email ever do a glitch where it just keeps showing you an email even though you've read it?
No.
You sent me an email about a business thing.
Yeah.
I've read it. I've dealt with it. It's been actioned. But literally every time I open my email, it pops up at the top thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm waiting for a response on that. It's Gemma being really impatient. No. Just it keeps coming back, so I feel like you're very present in my inbox,
as I should be,
as you should be, and that's lovely. But also it's quite intensive because I'm like, look, Gemma, look, I'm doing it. Oh no, it's the same email.
Okay, and that's it. I feel like I've been haunting you from your emails.
Yeah, but also we did something, I feel like I'm talking about this a lot, but it's so alien to me. So Joe's working as normal. We live in a sexist environment, and he has taken a week off at the end of the holidays, but I'm basically working and managing 3 kids and trying to make them have a nice holiday and organising our social life while he just works. Anyway, for his birthday, he wanted a bike. So we went and found a secondhand bike. I bought it for him. we had to go and get bike accessories yesterday. So I was like, right, we're going to leave here at 4. He's worked all day. We're going to leave here at 4. We're going to go to the bike shop, get the bike accessories. Then we're going to go to Pizza Express, eat there, get home at 7, kids in bed, jobs are good. And it was so nice. And I felt like both of us was so ridiculous because both of us kept going, oh, that was so nice. Like we'd just bloody been to the Ritz, because it's just not something we do, partly because of London, but partly because of COVID. So my youngest was 1.5 when we went into COVID, 2.5, can't remember. Born in 2017, 2.5. So 2.5 when we went into COVID. And as broody as I am, and as much as I nag him to have a 4th child, I was like, oh, I just shouted, get in the car. The kids just got in the car. I didn't have to bring nappies, milk bottles, change of clothes. Do you know what I mean? Any of that, they just got in the car. And then we ate dinner, and then they got in the car, and then we went to bed, and it was so nice, and it did feel quite holiday-ish. So I'm going to be implementing more of that, where it's like, if you're not going to take days off, or you're not, I'm going to implement little holiday snippets into your existence.
We kind of did that last night. Kids went to my mum and dad's for chili and rice. And Mike and I went to the restaurant, and I had French onion soup, which is my favourite soup.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you know what my favourite soup is?
What?
Bear in mind, I hate soup. I hate soup. I hate it. What's the point? It's like pureed food. I'd rather chew. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's like the adult equivalent of an Ella's pouch soup. Gazpacho.
Oh, and you know what? I knew you were going to say that. A, because you're fancy, and also because we went out once and years and years ago, and bless him, my dad, he's featuring a lot in this episode, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
He sent his gazpacho soup back because it was cold.
Oh.
I think that's what it's meant to be like.
It's more, I like it because I'm like, add a dash of vodka, you got a Bloody Mary, then it's a drink.
Yeah. So I had fresh French onion soup. We went in our posh car that I'm not giving back. Okay.
Definitely not.
I need that as compensation for the stress that Chris has put me through. And then I had sea bass on a bed of wilted spinach with a lemon and caper sauce. It's lovely. And a Pinot Grigio.
That's very grown up.
I know. And then tomorrow, the kids are going to my mum and dad's. My mum's taken them on a challenge. I said, what's this? I'm going to take the kids on a challenge. It's Ben and Tom, because Johnny's at his dad's. I was like, what's that? We're going to go to all the charity shops in the local town, and I'm going to give them £10 each. I'm going to see who can get the most of their money. I said, what do you mean, like bargain hunt? Basically, you're doing bargain hunt on the high street. Yeah. Like, yep. I was like, okay, fine. So Mike and I are going to go for lunch tomorrow. I don't know where yet.
I really want to do a lot. I went for lunch with my mum and my sister. Because also, what I find really difficult, and I don't know if you find this, but working for myself, especially during the holidays. So on Monday, I booked the kids into a camp. So they went to the camp. So I had a child-free day. And my sister booked her kids into the same camp because she's been staying with my mum. And so I was like, oh my God, I've got a child-free day. A child-free day in the summer holidays is like gold dust for me. So I had to try and get loads of work done. But then my sister was like, but we're going for a pub lunch. So they did something in the morning, and I was like, no, I'll come and meet you for lunch. And we just sat and had a pub lunch, and it was amazing. Looked out a beautiful view. And then we just went mooching around our local market town. And I was a bit like, if I get hit by a bus, I'm not going to be like, oh, I wish I'd, obviously, Gemma, I will always wish I'd done my emails for you. That will be my dying.
As you're like being lent over by a paramedic, the first thing that comes out, can you just give me my phone? There's a couple of things I need to tie up first.
Can you tell Gemma this is happening on this day? This is happening on this day. Say no to that. Send a media kit. Done. But I was like, I won't be wishing I'd done work. I'd be wishing that I'd mooched around the shops with my sister and my mum. But it is that awful guilt thing where you're like, you have to have a bit of time for yourself as well as, oh my God, I've got child free time. I'm just going to blitz the house work. Housework's not been happening, Gem. I need my 1 hour reset house summer holiday. What's that one called?
Can't remember. There's a couple of them now. But yeah, I am getting quite a lot of messages from people. Then my kids are tidying, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening. I think it's because someone else is telling them to do it. It's different.
Well,
because I made Ben test it out, and he didn't know it was me. Ben doesn't believe I do the job I do. Like, I don't know if I talk different. Everyone puts on a different.
The first time I saw my dad on TV, when he was in the room, I'd seen him on TV before, but he'd always been at work. So I assumed that was the work he was doing. And then I remember the first time being like, but you're there.
Yeah. Ben was doing his cleaning, and I was like, do you know who that lady is? Yeah, no. I was like, yes, you do. Come on. No. I said, it's me. And is it?
You do stuff.
Yes, Ben, this is my job. Is it? What else do you do? So then I showed him my YouTube channel, and he went, you're a YouTuber.
Oh my God, don't. Ned the other day went, Mum, are you a YouTuber? And I was like, no. He's like, but you have a channel? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, with followers? And I was like, yeah. He's like, that means you're a YouTuber. I was like, no.
No, I went, yes, I am.
I am.
I said, so when you go to school in September, you tell your friends that your mum is a YouTuber.
Oh, cool.
She went, what did you talk about? Johnny went, cleaning. He went, oh, boring. And walked off.
Oh, nearly. So good.
No, I know.
Yeah, I need to get my kids.
I don't stream gaming. That's not what I do. I don't stream.
Jim wants to be a YouTuber, so he gets free Lego sets. I'm like, please aspire to be something more than a YouTuber that gets free Lego sets.
I don't know. Like, free Lego sets are quite. Johnny, I think Johnny's gone to Legoland today.
I thought he was off Lego.
No, because he's got his brother, not from me. His other brother. He's only 5.
A half brother.
Oh yeah, but I don't like that term.
No.
We don't use the term half brother. I don't hate it. I really don't like it.
Why?
Because Ben is essentially their half brother. And it just makes me feel uncomfortable. So everyone's brothers.
Okay.
But yeah, so his brother, who doesn't live in his house, is only 5. He's 5. So they're going to Legoland. But Johnny just 5. I know, Johnny just looks. He will go and just look at the Lego city. I mean, it is amazing, the Lego city. You can, the attention to detail is just phenomenal. He goes just for that. Huh?
You're gonna go and be a good big brother.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. But it was an ultimate disappointment when he found out what YouTube I actually did do.
That made me think of something else. Ned desperately wants to do a podcast episode about vampires on my other podcast.
Oh, you should let him do it.
I am, but I'm like, right, you've got to do your research though. And he was like, oh. So
can I just make it up? Can I just wing it?
Yeah, no. Oh, that made me think of something though. Legoland. YouTuber influencing. What do you put on your, if you had to fill out any forms recently and say what job you do?
Content creator. Which I don't like either. Digital content creator.
Well, that's better than influencer.
Everyone just goes, although I did once dabble with just saying marketing, because people just don't question it. Because it is essentially, that's what it is, isn't it? Essentially. They just don't question it. And marketing, and they just go, oh, how dull, and just carry on.
Yeah. Accountancy.
Oh,
I'm an accountant.
Mike was talking to me before about maths. We were talking about the cost of living crisis and the energy bills. Do you have double glazing?
Partial.
And he was like, I was really trying to concentrate. He was talking about kilowatt hours, and I'm like, He said, he said, Gemma, don't glaze over. This is really important. And I'm like, oh.
It's that important. You deal with it.
No, I said, this is why I married you. He's like, no, come on, we need to make this decision together. I was like, oh. I default, I trust you. No, we need to make this decision together. I just default to you, default.
Whatever you say, I'll agree with. I grew up in a really cold house, so I'm quite good without double glazing, she says. Fast forward a few months, Life Laundry episode with me complaining. Any other business, Gemma Bray?
No.
Whimsical.
I'm just thinking about how cold it's going to be in a few months.
It's weird, isn't it? I feel like it's really slow. Look, we're back on roller coasters. I feel like it's a really slow climb to summer in this country. And then you're like, oh, look, it's like even on a grey day, I'm still wearing a strappy top. It's still hot, right? Oh, we've peaked. And then it'll suddenly be like September. Bye. Oh, back into.
There's always that like couple of weeks in September where you get excited, and I always put a skirt on and some thick tights. Hot. Yeah. And you're like, I've just bought this brand new autumn outfit, and I am going to wear it. I'm going to wear it to the school run, and I'm going to sweat so much.
And it's going to be, and then it's going to start raining solidly. So my new autumnal outfit is not going to be appropriate.
Yeah. So I've got no other business. What's your positive for the week?
I don't know. God. What's yours? You go first.
I am going back to spin, and I don't care. I wouldn't normally go because it's also my time of the month, but I feel a bit lethargic, but I'm gonna go anyway.
What happens if they do a timed thing and then you die?
I'm not gonna die. I'll just won't be at high performance. I'll go in with a ready-made excuse, like, hi guys, recovering from an injury. Take it slow tonight. That's where I've been.
Have you got spin gloves yet?
No.
You got little spin shoes yet?
No. Okay, I've got that thing. I just can't commit to a shoe. I always think there might be a better shoe just around the corner, so I'm always on the lookout for a shoe. Yeah.
Do you know what my positive of the week is? It's very niche positive. I've got a big plant that my friend gave me when she went to Spain. So it's a huge cheese plant called Martha. And she'd outgrown her pot. So I put her in a new pot. She did not like it. So I've been on the hunt to get her a basket, because I put a rubber plant in a basket and it's never been so happy. So I was like, we're going to get Martha a basket. A basket for that size, she's 40 centimetres across. They're like 80 quid. And I was like, I'm just sorry, Martha, you're not 80 quid's worth of plant. Bam, Oliver bonus sale, tenner.
Oh.
So I got that in the sale. Then when I went shopping with my mum and my sister to our local little market town, which is lovely, I found a pair of shoes in the sale that I would never have looked at. But since having the third kid, I can't wear heels. You won't have this problem because you are tall. So I only wear trainers. But if I go to a wedding in the summer, it's okay because I've got one pair of like gold wedges that go with everything. But in the winter, I literally will put a pair of heels on and then I just have to sit down the whole time because my feet are in so much pain. And if I wear flats, I look like someone's chopped me off at the knees and just hammered me into the ground. So I found a low kitten heel pair of shoes that are going to go with everything in the sale, still expensive, but in the sale. And then I found a pink linen shirt in a like hot pink, that's my colour, in the sale. And I was like, what are the chances? And I do that thing. I used to deliberate, like you were saying about your spin shoes. I used to get paralyzed by indecision. It had to be the perfect thing. And I was like, if I go and look for the perfect pair of shoes that I can wear with any wedding, I'll never find them. If they turn up now, that's fine. But now I've got something to tide me over. So I'm not in that situation. Because then you find that you're going to loads of weddings and killing your feet, or loads of events that you need to wear heels for and killing your feet and not enjoying them, waiting for the perfect pair of shoes rather than just getting the right pair of shoes that will do the trick. So I'm quite pleased with my sale purchases. And also I always shop small. I try and shop small and independent, and I'm quite religious about that. I did a year of only buying secondhand clothes. I buy a lot on Vinted, but I really like Oliver Bonus.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, there's something really nice. And I really like anthropology. What? Pitch. Well, I really like anthropology, and I feel like Oliver Bonus is a slightly more reasonable anthropology. They've got the same kind of. Oh, she going for a bob.
Ooh. Get that bit out of the way. Oh,
hello.
Oh no. Only looks nice from that angle. No.
Well, it looks nice there. You've got time, love, to have a short haircut. My mum says you can't have long hair when you're old.
I look like, you know what I look like?
What?
I look like when Victoria Beckham went through when she had it really blonde.
Yeah. You also look like someone from a girl band. Maybe it is Victoria Beckham.
I can do that. Like, I could be like,
yeah.
You'll see me next week and it'll just all be locked. Or zhuzhy. Yeah. Yeah, just zhuzhy.
I obviously, as we know, I look like Paul McCartney.
Take a screenshot because I actually do look like Victoria Beckham.
Oh, honestly, half of now that we're filming this, loads of people just see how many times I'm like, take a photo of Gemma.
Done it?
Yeah, it looks good.
What do you think? Wouldn't look nice in that colour though.
Well, that's because that's all your long bits.
Right. On that note,
what you need to do is you need to get the long bit and pin it under.
You know what? Fucking doing it. Fucking sold.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it done. It's been driving me mad, this bit at the back. I'm gonna do it.
Zhuzh it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I look forward to next week. That has been a very expensive haircut you're about to cut off.
I go, you know, take it off. Just take it all off, Rosalinda. Take it all off.
Chop it off.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we shall speak to you all next week. Say goodbye, Chippy.
Bye.
Very melodic.